In this video, we're going to do a 1,000 round review of the Sig P365XL. Okay, so for those of you who are familiar with the YouTube channel, you know my history with the Sig P365 series. You know I had really bad luck with 2 of them, and right now I'm trying to give it a second go. This is the Sig P365XL, which is his longer, a little bit larger brother, and there's a lot of features this has I really like, especially the optic cut. I can't wait to get the Sig Zero and see how this thing runs with that. But today I'm going to put 1,000 rounds through this. I've already put around 65 rounds, I think, through this gun this morning, just function testing it and doing some accuracy stuff. But now we're going to burn down 1,000 rounds, see how it does, and see if I'm willing to give this gun a chance to replace my Glock 48 as my carry gun. Okay guys, so here's what we are working with today. We've got the star of the show, the Sig P365XL. We've got a Harry's Holsters Executive in the single clip configuration with some white accent hardware. And we've got 100 rounds of 124 grain Lawman, 300 rounds of 124 grain Blazer brass. We've got 400 rounds of 115 grain Independence ammo, and we've got 200 rounds of 124 grain NATO spec PPU. And all this was carried to the range in my Lynx Defense range bag, made in the USA. Not many range bags can say that. And we've got 2 12-round mags that came with the gun and 4 15-round mags that we're going to be doing this 1,000 round test in. All those are marked. Okay, so when the Sig P365XL was announced, I got really excited about it. A lot of you guys wanted to see me give the P365 that had all the updates a second chance. So I decided to do that with the P365XL because the format is a lot more interesting to me because it's the type of gun I like to carry at least during the warmer months. And unfortunately, I had some reliability issues with that. I'm going to go more into depth with that at the end of the video for you guys that want to watch, because it takes me about 5 minutes to say it and I couldn't figure a way to get it any shorter. But I had a lot of issues with 124 grain ammo with it. Had one issue with 115 grain ammo. And also understand, I put this gun through a lot more than the average person that owns it as a range toy or as a concealed carry firearm is going to put it through. So take that into account when you're watching this video. This is one person's opinion, my opinion, and one person's experiences. I did see there was one other video out there, Golden Web, I think is the channel. He had the exact same issues with the P365XL, and that makes me think this is probably a more widespread issue. But like I said, understand that you have to shoot this gun, get it very hot for this to start occurring, at least in my experience with one gun. But I hope you find some useful information in here, and again, understand that this gun worked perfectly reliably for the first 165 rounds I shot through it, and it heated up after that. The average defensive encounter you might get into is going to be well under 165 rounds. Most people likely don't even carry a reload. So take that into account. Enjoy the video. I'm going to do a part 2 on this. I'm going to take this gun and shoot it as I would my average range day, which is much slower paced than this, and see how the gun runs reliability wise. So if you want to see that ahead of time, I'm probably going to upload that as an unlisted video, and I'll share the link through the mailing list on my website. I don't send out emails. I hate spam mail, so I don't send them out that often. So just go subscribe on the website, and I promise you won't get a bunch of spam emails from me, oh, this holster, whatever, all the time. I only send emails out when it's actually important information like new product launches or a discount like Black Friday. So go subscribe to the list. You'll get a sneak peek that a lot of your buddies won't. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Enjoy the rest. Okay guys, so I'm ready to start the 1,000 round test. I've got 84 rounds loaded up in the 6 magazines. 4 15 rounders and 2 12 rounders. We're starting with the 124 grain PPU NATO. Now this video you're watching right now is going to be the edited version. This is probably going to be about 10 minutes or so. I'm going to probably upload, if my camera will keep running that long without a change and I can process the video, I'm going to upload an unedited version so you guys can see every round shot through it, if that's your kind of thing. It's probably going to be an hour and a half long. Maybe not the most fun video to watch, but maybe you're into that. That was my fault, being honest here. magazine was not fully seated. And part of that, something I'll bring up here, this grip is just a little bit shorter than, say, something like a G48, which I can see people with larger hands having problems with. I've got pretty average size hands for a 6 foot, 5'11" height male. So if you got smaller hands, you would not have an issue, but it can be a little bit hard to seat the mags on this gun. I'm not looking forward to firing all 1,000 rounds by myself. First malfunction, that was weekend only, could have definitely been me. Looks like we had a failure to feed. There's no mark on the primer, obviously, because that last round fired before it. And that was with a pretty full grip. Failure to go into battery. It could just be this ammo. And people are going to want to see this left-handed, so you know my thumb is not interfering at all. So I'm just going to shoot this one-handed, left-handed. That way my finger will be in the trigger guard. So it could just be this ammo that it doesn't like. I've shot this through some other guns, bought a case of it. Battery. I'm gonna check the barrel, see if there's any obstruction. As you can tell, this gun, or you can probably tell, this gun's getting hot already. Which is to be expected, any gun this size would do that. The feed ramp looks clean. I don't have the kind of lens or the filming ability to show you inside the barrel. But everything I can see looks good, so I'm hoping it's just the ammo. Okay, so here we had one failure to go into battery that was shooting left hand only though, and could have very well been me. I'm pretty fatigued after firing 500 plus rounds today, over 600 at this point. Okay, so just finished firing up 400 rounds of the 115 grain Independence ammo, and only had one failure to go into battery with that, and that could have very easily been limp wristing. We had multiple failures to go into battery with 124 grain PPU NATO spec ammo. So I think that was an ammo issue. We've got two other types of 124 grains we're gonna try here now. Let's see how she... Failure to go into battery. All right. Failure to go into battery, and you can feel the one before that have trouble going in. Failed to get back in the battery, but finally slid back in. Failure to go into battery with 124 grain lawman. Okay guys, so a lot of you guys have been asking for a second chance for the Sig P365 once all Sig did all the updates. Didn't really excite me, but when the new P365XL did, I got pretty excited about that, especially because that optic cut on it. And I really like the Glock 48. You know, it's very similar form factor to that. So I took it out, started doing a 1,000-round test, and I had some major reliability issues. Most of it was with 124 grain ammo, 3 different types. But I'll kind of give you an idea of what happened that day. It was yesterday. I brought 4 guns out: the Sig P365XL, a Sig P365, a Glock 48, and a P320X compact. I shot approximately 65 rounds through each of those. It was 124 grain lawman, doing some accuracy testing and taking some video footage. Once I did that, the gun, the Sig P365XL, was pretty cool after having 65 rounds shot through it in roughly an hour, hour and a half period. So very manageable. So then I start the 1,000-round test, and I made it through roughly 100 rounds of 124 grain NATO PPU before I started having issues. Ran it through the next 100, had lots of failure to return to batteries. Started shooting 115 grain independence, and I had 0 malfunctions from rounds 300 to 500. The gun got so hot at that point, I was using gloves to shoot. I took a 20 to 30 minute break, let the gun cool down. I completely disassembled the gun, let it cool, and then after that 20, 30 minute break was over, I re-lubricated some points on the gun around the barrel hood, the front of the barrel, and the rails on the gun. Lightly lubricated with ALG lubricant. And started the test over again, made it through the next 100 rounds, and towards the very end of the next 100 rounds of 115 grain independence, I had 1 failure to return to battery. So that kind of told me right there, okay, that was probably not an ammo issue. It's likely a gun issue at that point. So I started shooting 124 grain Blazer and had multiple failure to return to battery with that. Then I switched to the last 100 rounds, which was 124 grain lawman, multiple failures to return to battery with that. And that ammo shot fine, you know, when I was initially shooting the gun. But I think a lot of this is related to heat. And what I was putting the gun through was extreme. Now, granted, my Glock 43X and my 48 both made it through this test. The 48 had 1 light primer strike, and those guns got really hot. I think those guns were finished somewhere 1,000 rounds between 45 and 55 minutes. This I'd spent almost 2 hours doing because I was one shooter, and I took a 20-minute break in the middle for the gun to cool down. And it was much cooler the day we did the Glocks versus the day I did this Sig P365XL. So just something to take into account. But I think it was a pretty even test. Now, for the average guy buying one of these guns, they are not going to put it into that kind of heat. They are not going to shoot that many rounds that quickly through the gun, heating the gun up that much. Myself, my average range day doesn't look anything like that. So I am going to take this gun out, and I am going to put probably, you know, like my average 200 round session in probably about 2 to 3 hours through that gun and see how it goes and see if the reliabilities pop up. I'm going to shoot 124 grain ammo to see if this is a heat issue, but I'm not going to clean the gun. It's only got, you know, 1,065 rounds through it approximately. So I'm just going to see what happens. Let me know. And then if the issues persist, I'll clean the gun, try it again. But this gun is a Davidson's gun, so it's going to get returned, and I'm going to exchange it for another one. But I'm probably going to wait till Sig makes some changes. I'm 99% sure at this point it's the gun. But take into account what I put this gun through. And I understand the average person isn't going to do that. And this is also a reason, like I know there's going to be a lot of guys in the comments that are going to go around, this happened last time. Anybody who had a P365 that didn't have the issues I did was considered a lie or something like that. Look, that's BS, guys. People have different experiences, and understand the guys that have P365XLs and are doing fine with them, they are likely not shooting with an insane schedule of fire I put this gun through. So please take that into account. But also encourage them to go out and do that, because I'd like to see the results, see if it is the same as what I got, or see if it's different, see if this is a quality control, batch to batch. Maybe I've got a bad barrel. Who knows? But I really appreciate you guys watching. Please share this video, and please check out the site Harry's Holsters. And now